All of us must face the harsh reality of the cycle of life and death. But life on Earth is not the only place where this natural process occurs. Even the stars and planets that fill our sky with light have an expiration date in our universe. One such star that appears to be nearing the end of its career is Betelgeuse, which, according to certain sources, may have just exploded. Has it actually happened then? And what other news is there for us? Welcome to our channel, guys. In today's video, we'll discuss Betelgeuse and if it has really exploded. Before that, do subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Let's look more closely. All stars, including our Sun, begin their lives in a dense part of a nebula, which usually happens as a result of one of several events that might cause a molecular cloud to gravitationally collapse. Galactic collisions or a severe local supernova explosion can tear matter, sending it hurtling into the clouds at very high speeds. Anywhere from a few dozen to thousands of stars can be created in each of these stellar maternity wards to create a star the size of our Sun, which is 864,400 miles across. Coming back to Betelgeuse, at the conclusion of its life, the supergiant star was observed by Hubble in 2019 behaving weirdly. Something new, never previously seen. Betelgeuse, the second brightest star in the constellation Orion, is located around 548 light-years from Earth. No, it's not the self-proclaimed ghost with the most, but it's still fascinating. Betelgeuse, often called Alpha Orionis, designates the hunter's eastern shoulder. The name of the notorious red supergiant comes from the Arabic phrase Yad al-Jaza, which literally translates to the hand of the center one. In this case, Orion. The variable star is visible to the unaided eye due to its brightness. As a supergiant, the star is already quite old, at roughly 10 million years old, and it is nearing the conclusion of its existence. Betelgeuse is reported to be about 13,000 times brighter than the Sun in comparison. So the next time you find yourself whining about how bright the Sun is, simply remember to be thankful that our world doesn't orbit around this enormously bright star. What exactly is the fuss about the large bright star with the odd name? As stars age, they typically swiftly exhaust their hydrogen fuel before transitioning to helium and other elements. This continues through the stages of cooling and expanding until heavier atoms fuse, at which time the massive star exhausts all of its fuel and reaches the critical mass of its iron core. When a star is as massive as Betelgeuse, it goes supernova, or completely collapses and explodes. Given its distance from Earth, it is entirely feasible that Betelgeuse has already gone supernova. However, the light from this explosion won't be visible to us for several millennia. When that time finally arrives, it will be a truly amazing sight that will probably be visible even during the day for months and months. Imagine being able to witness the entire show with your own eyes, without the use of a telescope, by gazing up into the night sky. The radiation from the explosion is also not anticipated to reach Earth, which is fantastic news for humankind's future, even though we won't necessarily be around to witness any of it. The mystery of dimming, for the first time ever, Betelgeuse grew fainter and fainter than it had ever been towards the end of 2019, which excited astronomers all around the world. Although this behavior is not unusual in and of itself, the fact that the supergiant star is nearing the end of its life makes it a very interesting topic that may provide new information on how supergiant stars die. To add intrigue, the star has already lost nearly 2/3 of its typical brilliance as seen from Earth by February 2020. The brightness continued to fade, dropping by 35% around the middle of February, until brightening up once more in April 2020. Betelgeuse's great dimming was the subject of several competing ideas, with some researchers speculating that the star might be supernovaing. Others believed that a massive cloud of dust was blocking the star's light, which also appeared plausible. All telescopes were directed at Betelgeuse for as long as the buzz persisted. But then, researchers made a startling discovery. They were able to demonstrate that there was, in fact, a massive dust cloud to blame by using the Hubble Space Telescope. But things turned out differently than they had anticipated. It may have been an eruption from the star's surface of a plume measuring more than 1 million miles, 1.6 million kilometers broad. This enormous plume appears to have generated a kind of starquake, a shock that blew out a substantial portion of the star's surface, 400 million times more powerful than the material often observed from our sun's coronal mass ejections. Our solar system's sun frequently ejects mass, which is known as solar flares, but only little fragments of the sun's corona, the outermost layer, are blown off. This is why they are referred to as coronal mass ejections. However, Betelgeuse appears to be blowing its top off altogether. Surface mass ejections are the name of the phenomenon, which is probably not the same as coronal mass ejections. Hubble's finding international astronomers who just so happened to be viewing Betelgeuse through the Hubble Space Telescope before, during, and after the entire dimming event combined their observational data to suggest that a nearby dust cloud may have contributed to the star's appearance as being darker. Their findings revealed that before the star started to dim, the photosphere, the star's outer layer, had started to speed outward. The study's principal investigator, Andrea Dupree, and her co-workers hypothesized that the star expanded during one of its routine cycles. A part of its surface accelerated more quickly because of something called a convection cell that had risen from the star's innards to its surface. There was enough material ejected from the star to produce stardust as a result of the simultaneous occurrences. The darkening that was observed here from Earth was primarily caused by this dust. Images taken by the Very Large Telescope of the European Southern Observatory allowed observers to observe how the star's appearance changed over the course of several weeks. Astronomers were able to watch the stardust formation in real time thanks to the photos and prior observations from 2019 and the beginning of 2020. It was a stunning and groundbreaking event that had never been seen before. The ESO team also came to the conclusion that the star's outer pulsing caused a gas bubble to be expelled and propelled further into space. The local temperature drop that occurred when the convection-driven cold patch appeared on the surface was also more than enough to cause heavier elements like silicon to condense into solid dust, creating a dusty veil that would then reduce the star's brightness, especially in the southern hemisphere. Andrea Dupree, the study's author, stated in an article about the subject that was published in the Astrophysical Journal, Betelgeuse is currently doing some pretty odd things. When it comes to star science, this is a very young and unexplored field. Dupree goes on to say, a massive star surface mass ejection has never before been observed. There is still something going on that we don't fully comprehend. We can directly examine this brand new phenomenon and use Hubble to clarify surface features. Real-time observation of the evolution of stars, the consequences of Betelgeuse's supergiant star now has many more options thanks to the major riddle underlying its dimming being solved. The latest studies have revealed some intriguing hints about how red giants lose mass later in their lives as they gradually exhaust all of their fuel before exploding as supernova. The phenomenon has now been given the name stellar evolution by scientists. A star the size of Betelgeuse blowing off mass portions of its own surface material is undoubtedly an uncommon phenomenon, making the chance to see it happen once in a lifetime. But if you believe that this marks the concluding chapter of this cosmic marvel, think again. Although there has been an extremely high volume of the ejection, researchers have noted that this does not necessarily portend an impending explosion. It just serves to highlight how little we actually know about these supergiant stars, and it is unquestionably a phenomenon that needs a great deal more research and understanding. What do you think then? Will Betelgeuse undergo a supernova soon? Could the James Webb Space Telescope aid in the discovery of other uncommon space phenomena? Let us know in the comment section below, and while you do that, don't forget to give us a like, share, and do subscribe to our channel for more updates. Thanks for watching.